Maybe you don't see it yet, but you are healing. I know it doesn't always feel that way. Some days it looks like nothing is changing. The old thoughts still whisper, the body still aches, the tears still come, but healing rarely announces itself with fireworks. It arrives quietly, like dawn, soft, gradual, certain. You've spent years trying to get better, to feel lighter, calmer, more whole. You've read the books, practiced forgiveness, repeated your affirmations until your voice trembled with doubt. And still, part of you wonders, am I really healing or am I just pretending? Let me tell you, you are. Healing is not perfection. It's the slow rewiring of belief. It's waking up one morning realizing the thing that used to break you only makes you pause. It's noticing you no longer rush to blame yourself. It's understanding that peace is not a destination, it's a relationship with this very moment. There are signs, subtle but unmistakable, that your healing has begun. The first is you've stopped running from your feelings. Where you once avoided your pain, you now sit with it, you breathe through it, you know it has something to teach you. You've stopped judging your sadness as failure and started seeing it as truth, asking to be seen. The second sign is you've begun speaking to yourself more kindly, not perfectly, but noticeably. The inner voice that once barked, "What's wrong with you?" now pauses and says, "It's okay, you're learning." That shift is sacred, because every gentle word rewires years of inner cruelty. Every "I forgive you" plants new peace in the soil of your mind. The third sign is your body feels safer. Maybe your shoulders drop more easily. Maybe you breathe a little deeper without forcing it. The anxiety that once ruled your mornings no longer dictates your entire day. You still feel it, yes, but it passes faster now. Your body has begun to trust that you will no longer abandon it. The fourth sign is you're not trying to control everything anymore. There's a new softness in you, a willingness to let life unfold. You trust that what is meant for you will not need to be chased. You trust the timing. You no longer beg for answers before their season. You've replaced force with faith. And the fifth sign, the most powerful of all, is you are no longer ashamed of where you are. You've stopped treating your healing as a secret project to hide from others. You've accepted that being a work in progress doesn't mean you're behind, it means you're alive. You've begun to respect your own becoming. If you recognize even one of these signs, celebrate it. Healing doesn't mean you never cry again, it means your tears now fall with purpose. Doesn't mean you never fear again, it means you now speak gently to the fear instead of letting it drive. Doesn't mean every day is light, it means you finally know the light always returns. You used to chase healing as if it were a reward for being good enough, but now you see it's not something to earn, it's something to allow. You've learned that love doesn't arrive after the pain disappears. Love is what makes the pain disappear. This is what it means to trust the process, to stop asking how much longer and start whispering, I'm already on my way. Healing has its own rhythm, like the tide, like breath, like the seasons. You cannot rush spring by shouting at the snow. You can only trust that life knows what it's doing. There will be days when you doubt it all again, when you think, maybe I'm not healing at all. Those are the days you are healing the deepest. Because that's when you practice compassion without evidence. That's when you choose belief over proof. That's when you prove to life that you trust its timing. Every thought we think is creating our future. Each time you think, I am healing, you give your body permission to relax. Each time you say, I am safe now, you calm years of survival. Each time you whisper, life loves me, the universe nods and rearranges itself around that truth. Maybe your healing doesn't look dramatic. Maybe no one else sees it, but you feel it in how you respond instead of react, in how you rest instead of collapse, in how you ask for help without shame. That quiet evolution is the loudest proof of growth there is. So take a moment right now to honor how far you've come. Think of the version of you who didn't know peace was possible. Think of the woman who once believed she was too broken to change. She would cry with joy if she could see you now breathing, trying, forgiving, trusting. Healing isn't a race, it's a remembering. You are remembering how to trust, how to soften, how to love yourself as you are. You are remembering that even the cracks let the light in. You are remembering that the same force that beats your heart is guiding your healing one patient breath at a time. So if you're listening to this, take it as your sign. You are not stuck, you are unfolding. You are not lost, you are becoming. And though it may not feel like it today, you are already healing just by choosing to believe that you are. Because healing isn't loud, it's not sudden, it's not perfect, it's gentle, it's slow, it's sacred, and it's happening right now. The first sign of true healing is not constant joy, but the quiet willingness to feel again. For years, we ran from our emotions because we believed they were dangerous. We learned that safety meant silence, that strength meant never crying. But avoiding our feelings only delayed peace. Healing begins the moment we allow ourselves to feel. Avoidance once protected us. It was the mind's way of saying, I'm not ready yet. That was not weakness, it was survival. But the soul eventually grows tired of hiding. It longs to breathe freely again. What once served us becomes too small. Healing starts when we dare to open the door and let our emotions speak. For a long time, I was afraid of my own feelings. I thought that sadness made me ungrateful, that anger made me unloving, that tears meant failure. I spent years trying to rise above what I truly needed to sit with. Only later did I learn that feeling is not regression, it is progress. It is the heart thawing after years of coldness. Emotions are energy in motion. They are meant to move, not to be trapped. When we suppress them, they remain in the body, repeating their lesson through tension, fatigue, and unease. The body does not punish, it reminds. Every unspoken truth becomes a whisper in the muscles until we finally listen with compassion. Pain is not punishment, it is communication. The body says, something needs love here. Every ache, every tear, every wave of sadness is an invitation to see what has been ignored. When you stop judging your pain and start listening to it, healing begins to unfold on its own. Understanding replaces resistance and peace begins to flow. Tears are not weakness. They are the soul's way of cleaning house. They wash away the old beliefs that said, I must not feel. Every tear carries away a story that once defined you, but no longer serves your becoming. The more you allow them, the lighter your heart becomes. You do not cry because you are broken, you cry because you are healing. Sitting with your pain is an act of great courage. It means you trust life enough to stop running. It means you believe that your feelings will not destroy you, they will deliver you. Each breath through discomfort tells the frightened inner child, you are safe to feel now. You are safe to let go. There was a time I couldn't sit in silence. The stillness frightened me because it revealed too much. But one day, I stopped escaping. I sat quietly and said, this hurts. I didn't try to fix it or hide it. I just breathed. And something miraculous happened. The pain softened simply because it had been acknowledged. That was my awakening. Healing was not the absence of pain. It was the return of honesty. When we tell the truth about how we feel, we end the war with ourselves. Every "this hurts" spoken sincerely is a bridge back to peace. Truth does not destroy, it clears the way for light to enter. Our culture teaches us to celebrate strength and conceal vulnerability, yet real strength is softness. It takes far more courage to cry than to pretend you are fine. Healing is not about getting over emotions, it is about letting them move through you without shame. The flow of feeling is the pulse of life returning. You may notice that when you allow sadness, it changes shape. What began as heaviness turns into relief. That is energy completing its journey. Suppressed emotion stagnates. Expressed emotion transforms. When we give our feelings permission to exist, They no longer need to scream, they simply pass. Think of emotions as waves. When you resist them, you are thrown about. When you float with them, they carry you to shore. The wave is not your enemy, it is movement. It only feels overwhelming when you forget that it will always subside. No storm lasts forever. Every emotion that rises also falls. The moment you stop labeling feelings as bad, they begin to reveal their gifts. Anger teaches boundaries, sadness teaches compassion, fear teaches caution and humility. Even despair can lead to surrender, where peace is born. Every feeling has wisdom. Healing happens when you stop fearing their arrival. Sometimes you will feel joy and grief in the same breath. Do not analyze it. The heart is vast enough to hold both. Healing is not tidy, it is honest. Some days will feel like light, others will feel like shadow. Both are sacred. The same sun that shines also warms the rain that feeds the earth. Many people tell me, I thought I was healing, but then the sadness returned. I smile and say, then you are healing, because healing is circular, not straight. The same emotions revisit us until we can meet them with gentleness instead of judgment. Their reappearance is not failure, it is refinement. To feel again is to trust again. When you sit with your feelings, you are saying, I believe in my own strength. You are learning that peace does not come from escaping discomfort, but from befriending it. You stop treating pain as a threat and begin to see it as a messenger carrying truth. Create a gentle space for your feelings to unfold. It might be a quiet room, a walk alone, or the stillness before sleep. Let the body speak in its own rhythm. Do not rush its story. Each sigh, each tremor, each deep exhale is a chapter closing. Your only task is to listen and breathe. If tears come, welcome them. They are not setbacks, they are blessings. Every tear shed in honesty is an affirmation of life returning. Healing is not neat or polite, it is wild and sacred. Allow yourself to be human, and you will find that even in your deepest sorrow, there is peace beneath the waves. Peace does not come from avoiding pain, but from meeting it with love. The heart that has learned to feel can never again be enslaved by fear. Once you know that pain will not destroy you, you are free. The courage to feel is the birth of inner safety. You trust yourself again. Remember that healing is not about always feeling good. It is about feeling everything and knowing you can survive it. You may still have sad days, but now they pass like weather instead of seasons. You no longer fear their return. You understand they are temporary visitors, not permanent tenants. In my early years, I tried to think my way out of pain. I repeated affirmations without listening to the ache beneath them, but healing only deepened when I stopped performing and started feeling. Affirmations are powerful, but they must be rooted in honesty. You cannot build peace on denial. You must meet yourself where you are. When we feel deeply, we begin to hear life differently. The wind carries messages of patience. The rain whispers of renewal. Even silence begins to comfort instead of frighten. This is the shift from resistance to reverence. You realize your emotions are not obstacles to enlightenment, they are the path itself. When you look back, you will see how much courage it took to stop running. You will realize that every moment spent weeping, every hour spent trembling, was holy work. You were returning to yourself. The light you feel now is not new, it is the light that was always beneath the pain. Sometimes you will not even know what you are feeling. That, too, is okay. Simply say, whatever this is, I allow it to be. The heart understands even when the mind cannot name it. Naming is not necessary for healing, presence is. Be present, and life will reveal what it needs you to know. If you listen closely, you will find that emotions move faster through love than through analysis. Understanding may come later, but peace arrives the moment you stop resisting. The body always follows the mind's permission. When you allow, the body relaxes. When you accept, the spirit expands. Take time to rest after deep feeling. Emotional honesty requires energy. The body may ache or feel tender. That is normal. It has been holding you for years. Rest is the body's way of saying, thank you for listening. Honor it. Healing thrives in gentleness, not haste. Before we close this part, take a deep breath. Feel the air moving through you. Feel your heart beating. This rhythm is life itself. Whisper softly, it is safe for me to feel. My feelings are my friends, and each one brings me closer to freedom. Let that truth settle into your chest like warm sunlight. Every feeling is a messenger, every tear a prayer, every sigh a release. You do not need to chase peace. It grows naturally in the soil of honesty. The moment you stop running from yourself, you discover that you were never lost, you were only waiting to be found. There comes a quiet moment in every healing journey when you hear your own voice and realize it has changed. It no longer scolds, it soothes. It no longer calls you names, it calls you home. That softening, that gentleness is the sound of love finally being allowed to speak through you. For years, my inner voice was not my own. It was an echo of old authority, repeating words I had once believed were true. You're not good enough. You'll never change. What's wrong with you? I did not know that these phrases, uttered in childhood, had become the weather of my mind. Self-talk is the climate we live in. For some, it rains criticism. For others, it storms with doubt. Healing begins when sunlight enters a single kind word, piercing through years of gray. The mind may resist at first, but love, spoken consistently, becomes the new season. I remember standing before the mirror for the first time and saying, I love and approve of myself. My lips trembled, my eyes doubted. Part of me wanted to laugh, another part wanted to cry. Yet I said it again the next day and the next, until those words began to sound like home. The mirror is not merely glass, it is a sacred altar. When you stand before it with tenderness, you meet your own soul. It is not vanity to speak lovingly to yourself, it is reverence. The face you see is not the enemy, it is the expression of divine life itself, longing for your approval. At first, the words may feel false, but they are not lies, they are seeds. Each repetition waters the soil of your subconscious. Even when you do not believe them, your cells listen. The body does not require belief to respond, it responds to tone. Speak kindly long enough, and belief will follow. When you say to yourself, I am doing my best, you soothe the nervous system. When you whisper, I forgive you, you dissolve years of hidden shame. The mind relaxes in the presence of compassion. What you once tried to fix begins to heal naturally through kindness alone. The subconscious is childlike. It believes everything you repeat. If you say, I'm hopeless, it obeys. If you say, I am learning, it adjusts and begins to learn. Your inner dialogue is an instruction manual for your life. Rewrite it with love, and your experience will transform. Healing begins not with silence, but with sound, the sound of new words forming gently on your tongue. I am safe, I am worthy, I am becoming. The mind listens, the heart answers. The body follows. Every phrase becomes a bridge between thought and manifestation. Cruel self-talk keeps the body in defense. Muscles tighten, breath shortens, digestion slows. Kind words create the opposite effect. They open, expand, and calm. You can feel it instantly. The shoulders lower, the jaw softens, and the body sighs as if it has been waiting for permission to rest. When I teach mirror work, many say, but I can't say I love you, I don't feel it. I tell them, then begin with willingness. Say, I am willing to love myself. Willingness is enough. It opens the door for love to enter. Even a cracked door lets in light. Love grows through repetition. Every time you choose a kind word over a cruel one, you are reparenting yourself. You are showing the inner child that gentleness is safe now. You no longer need to motivate yourself through fear. You can grow through praise instead. When you drop harshness, the world mirrors it back. People speak to you differently because you have changed your frequency. Life always echoes your inner tone. A calm inner world attracts calm experiences. You do not have to demand respect. Your self-respect commands it quietly. Begin to notice the words that slip from your tongue without thought. When you say, "I'm so stupid," pause. Replace it with, I am learning. When you say, "I can't do this," change it to, "I'm finding my way." Small corrections build new pathways of peace. Each shift is a step toward freedom. It is not about perfection. The old voice will return from time to time, but now you meet it differently. Instead of believing it, you say, there's the old fear again. You watch it like a passing cloud, not a storm. The power of self-kindness is not silence, it is discernment. Healing does not erase the inner critic, it transforms it into a teacher. That voice once tried to protect you through control. Now it learns a new role, guidance through love. You become your own caretaker, speaking with the same warmth you once longed to hear from others. I once told a woman, speak to yourself as you would to a child who is learning to walk. Would you yell at a child for stumbling, or would you smile and say, "Try again, dear one"? Every mistake becomes lighter under love. The soul blooms when encouragement replaces condemnation. Some of my students write affirmations on mirrors, on doors, on refrigerator notes. I am lovable. I am enough. Life supports me. These reminders re-educate the mind gently through constant exposure. The more often you see love, the harder it becomes to forget it. Notice how your body feels when you compliment yourself. The warmth in the chest, the softening in the breath that is healing. Kindness is not just mental, it is chemical. Each loving thought sends messages of safety throughout your body. The cells rejoice under gentle leadership. When you forgive yourself, you begin to trust yourself. The body senses this trust and relaxes. Energy that was once spent on self-defense becomes creativity. The mind that once rehearsed regret begins to imagine possibility. This is how self-talk creates the future. Progress is never linear. There will be days when you fall back into old criticism. That's all right. Simply begin again. Healing is not perfection, it is persistence. Each time you return to love, you weaken the habit of cruelty. Love is patient. It never demands that you be flawless, only that you be willing. Imagine your inner voice as a garden. Every gentle word is a seed of peace. Every harsh thought is a weed. Do not scold the weeds, just plant more flowers. Soon the flowers outgrow them. You need not fight negativity. You need only cultivate enough love to make it irrelevant. The words "I am enough" are medicine. They calm the frantic urge to prove and perform. They return you to stillness. When you truly believe you are enough, everything you do becomes an expression of love rather than a cry for approval. That is the shift from striving to being. If you have trouble finding kind words, borrow mine. I am willing to change. I am teachable. I am a student of love. These phrases carry a vibration that softens even the hardest heart. Say them slowly until they become your own. The subconscious does not care whose words you use. It only cares that they are kind. In my own journey, I noticed that the more I approved of myself, the less I needed others' approval. External praise once felt like oxygen. Now it feels like perfume, pleasant but not essential. The breath of life comes from within. True self-love is self-sustaining. When the mind learns to speak kindly, the whole world brightens. You begin to see beauty where you once saw flaw. You stop comparing and start celebrating. Compassion becomes your natural expression. Judgment, once sharp, loses its grip. The world reflects the peace you've cultivated inside. You may notice that kindness changes your timing. You move slower, more deliberately. You rest without guilt. You speak with warmth even to strangers. This is not effort, it is alignment. The soul no longer rushes because it feels safe in its own pace. Kindness restores the rhythm of grace. There will come a day when you catch yourself saying something harsh and immediately smile. That smile means mastery. You have learned awareness. You have become the guardian of your own mind. The old habits still visit, but they cannot stay where love now lives. I often tell people you cannot scold yourself into improvement, but you can love yourself into change. Self-kindness is not indulgence, it is intelligence. The body and mind bloom under approval because love is the natural environment for growth. Before we close, place your hand gently over your heart. Feel its steady rhythm. Whisper softly, "I am doing the best I can, and that is enough." Say it again until it sinks past thought into truth. Feel the warmth spread through your chest, the breath deepening, the mind growing quiet. Remember, every loving word you speak to yourself becomes strength in your mind and peace in your body. Kindness is not a luxury, it is the foundation of all healing. Continue to speak to yourself as you would to someone you cherish, and you will become that person fully, beautifully, naturally. There comes a day in every healing journey when the body begins to exhale. The breath deepens, the shoulders lower, and something soft within whispers, "It's safe now." You may not notice it at first. It arrives quietly like a cat curling into your lap. But this ease, this calm, is one of the surest signs that healing has begun. For years, many of us lived inside our bodies like unwelcome guests, ignoring, judging, or trying to control them. We pushed past hunger, silenced fatigue, dismissed pain. We treated the body as an obstacle rather than a partner. Yet the truth is simple. The body is the most loyal friend you will ever have. Your body listens to every word you speak, every thought you repeat. It does not argue, it obeys. When you think loving thoughts, it relaxes. When you think fearful ones, it tightens. The body is not the enemy of your peace. It is its mirror. It speaks in sensations, showing you what the mind believes. I once treated my body as something to correct. I saw it as flawed, heavy with blame, a collection of imperfections to hide. But then I realized it had never betrayed me. It was not against me, it was for me. Every ache, every illness, every heartbeat was a message saying, "Please love me, I am trying to protect you." Anxiety, tension, and fatigue are not flaws to be fixed. They are letters from the body asking for gentler thoughts. They say, "I have carried your fear long enough, can we rest now?" When we answer that call with love, not irritation, the body sighs in relief. It has only ever wanted to serve, not to suffer. Think of your body as a devoted companion. It wakes when you rise, follows where you go, absorbs what you feel. It has carried every memory, endured every heartbreak, stood guard through every night you doubted yourself. Even now, it beats your heart faithfully, no matter how you've spoken to it. Healing begins when we stop treating the body as a servant and start seeing it as a sacred home. You live here. It is your temple. When you speak harshly about it, it hears you. When you criticize its shape, it contracts. When you thank it, it glows. Words are food for the body as much as for the mind. Perhaps your body has been tense for years, always waiting for the next blow of worry. But when you begin to speak gently, when you say, "You are safe now, beloved body," you can feel the change. The muscles soften, the breath expands, the heartbeat steadies. Safety is not an idea, it is a sensation. Some people think healing means never feeling pain again. That is not true. Healing means that pain no longer frightens you. You can meet it with compassion instead of panic. The difference is not in the sensation, but in the response. The body trusts you now because it knows you will not abandon it when it speaks. There was a time when I pushed through exhaustion because I thought rest was laziness. But the body does not thrive on punishment. It thrives on rhythm. Just as the moon needs darkness to shine, the body needs rest to renew. When I began to honor my tiredness as sacred, my energy returned effortlessly. Listen closely, and you will notice the small signs of safety returning. The jaw loosens, the breath deepens, the stomach softens, the eyes feel less alert, less guarded. These are not random. They are the body's way of saying, thank you for not fighting me anymore. Love is the only medicine it has ever wanted. Self-care is not indulgence, it is communication. When you feed your body nourishing food, you are saying, I love you. When you move it with joy, you are saying, I trust you. When you rest, you are saying, I hear you. Every small act of care tells the body that it is valued, not used. People often ask me, how can I make my body feel safe? And I tell them, speak to it kindly. Stop demanding perfection. Start offering praise. The body blossoms under appreciation. It was never the criticism that made it healthy. It was always the love. Love strengthens the immune system of the soul. I have seen people's postures change when they begin to love themselves. Their spines lengthen, their chests open, their steps slow. You can tell when a person has made peace with their body. Their very presence radiates ease. The body that once carried shame now carries light. Your body is wise beyond comprehension. It knows when you are lying to yourself, when you are overextending, when you are hiding emotion. It responds not to logic, but to honesty. If you say, I am fine, but your heart is heavy, it will ache until you listen. The body will never deceive you. It will only tell you the truth. The next time something hurts, before you reach for blame or remedy, pause. Place your hand on that part of you and say, I'm here. Feel the warmth of your palm. Feel the tenderness beneath it. That warmth is attention. That attention is love. The body has been waiting for that touch more than for any cure. Healing is not about silencing the body. It is about learning its language. The flutter in the chest, the tightness in the throat, the heaviness in the stomach, all are dialects of love. They are not punishments. They are poetry. And when you listen, the translation always reads, please be kind. A woman once told me, I hate my body, it never feels right. I asked, have you ever thanked it for all it has done? She wept. Gratitude, she realized, was the medicine she had forgotten. When she began thanking her body daily, her pain eased. The body does not require miracles, it requires appreciation. When you say, I love you, to your body, even silently, every cell listens. Cells are obedient to consciousness. They respond to your tone, your breath, your belief. If you treat them with love, they will harmonize with life. If you scold them, they withdraw into tension. You are the conductor. The body plays the music you direct. Gratitude is the song that restores harmony. Thank your feet for their strength, your hands for their work, your lungs for their patience. Even the parts that ache deserve thanks. They have carried you through lessons no one else could learn for you. Gratitude turns the body into an altar of light. Safety is not the absence of fear, it is the presence of self-trust. When you keep your promises to your body, rest when tired, nourish when hungry, speak kindly when hurting, you teach it that it is safe in your care. The more you honor these small needs, the deeper the trust grows. You may notice that your body now recovers faster than before. Wounds close sooner, fatigue passes more gently, the heart feels steadier. This is not coincidence, it is cooperation. A body that feels safe does not need to shout through pain to get attention. It whispers through peace. The nervous system, once on high alert, begins to learn a new rhythm. It restates, stops waiting for crisis. It begins to expect calm. This shift cannot be forced. It unfolds naturally as love becomes habitual. The body learns from repetition. Every act of tenderness teaches it that it is safe to relax. Even when fear arises, you meet it differently now. Instead of resisting it, you place a hand on your chest and say, "It's all right, my love." You breathe through it. Fear becomes not an enemy, but a signal, a gentle reminder to return to the heart. The body softens each time you respond this way. If you still struggle to feel at home in your body, be patient. It took years to build distrust. It takes time to rebuild safety. But every moment of attention counts. Every gentle word adds up. The body does not hold grudges. It forgives instantly when you offer love sincerely. I often say, my body and I are on the same team. That truth changes everything. There is no battle anymore, only collaboration. When you treat your body as your ally, even illness becomes dialogue, not punishment. The body becomes your teacher, your temple, your truest companion. Tonight, before sleep, place your hands upon your heart, feel its rhythm, steady and faithful. Whisper softly, "My body and I are one. I listen, I rest, I heal, and I am safe in my own care." Say it until your breathing slows, until your heart answers with warmth. You have just spoken to your oldest friend. As you rest, remember, your body has always loved you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every instinct to survive was its way of saying, "I'm here for you." Now, at last, you are here for it too. This reunion of mind, body, and love is the essence of healing. There is a stillness that comes when we finally stop trying to manage life. We spend so many years trying to hold the world in our hands, afraid that if we let go, everything will fall apart. But healing whispers, release. For what was never ours to control was never ours to carry. I used to believe that control was strength. If I could plan everything, anticipate every outcome, then I would be safe. But all that control did was tighten me. My shoulders became armor, my mind a prison. I mistook vigilance for peace. I thought anxiety was responsibility. I was wrong. Peace cannot be forced, it can only be allowed. Fear hides behind control. It says, if I can just manage enough, nothing will hurt me again. But life was never meant to be managed, it was meant to be trusted. Love and fear cannot live in the same breath. Every moment spent controlling is a moment withheld from faith. When you begin to heal, a softness returns. You stop grasping, you stop rushing to make everything perfect, you learn to trust the unfolding. It feels strange at first, this letting go, but slowly you realize that life knows what it's doing. The tide has always known how to return to shore. I remember the exhaustion of trying to control every detail, my health, my work, my relationships. It was as if I believed my worth depended on flawless outcomes. Then one morning, weary and tearful, I whispered, "Life, I trust you." Those words changed everything. The very air felt lighter. I had surrendered the illusion of control. Trust is not passivity, it is cooperation with divine order. It is understanding that the same intelligence that grows flowers and turns seasons is guiding your path. We plant the seed, but we do not tug on it to make it grow faster. To trust the soil is to rest in the certainty of life's rhythm. We cannot rush the tide. We cannot command the sunrise. Why then do we expect to command our own growth? Life moves in seasons. Healing, too, has its winter and its spring. There is a time to bloom and a time to be still. Control fights these rhythms. Trust flows with them. Many people tell me, "I'm afraid to let go. What if everything falls apart?" And I ask, what if it falls together? Life often removes what cannot serve your next chapter. What feels like loss is sometimes rearrangement. Control resists change. Love welcomes evolution. To trust does not mean to stop caring. It means to stop fearing. You still take action, but no longer from panic. You move with grace, guided rather than driven. There is a world of difference between striving and allowing. One exhausts, the other renews. When we control, we grip, and whatever we grip cannot breathe. Control squeezes the life from joy. When we release, we create space. Space for peace, for clarity, for miracles to enter. The moment you stop micromanaging life, life rushes in to surprise you. In the days of my greatest worry, I would wake with a list of fears. What if this happens? What if that fails? It was endless. One day, I replaced every what if with even if. Even if things change, I will trust. That small shift turned anxiety into assurance. The heart cannot rest while it tries to predict the future. Faith is not believing nothing bad will ever happen. It is knowing that whatever happens, you will meet it with love. When you live this way, life becomes peaceful, even amid uncertainty. You no longer brace for impact, you open to experience. Healing means learning to live without clutching. You stop begging life for guarantees and start whispering, "Show me." This curiosity replaces fear. You watch life unfold, not with dread, but with wonder. You no longer demand answers, you invite revelation. Sometimes surrender looks like silence. You stop arguing with what is. You stop fighting the rain and begin to dance in it. Life softens when you do. Resistance creates friction. Acceptance restores flow. You find yourself breathing again, realizing the fight was never with life, it was with your own expectations. Trust is not a thought, it is a practice. You build it one moment at a time. Each time you choose calm over control, you strengthen it. Each time you say, "I may not understand, but I am guided," you build a foundation that no storm can shake. I have met people who lived in constant struggle, always planning, always bracing. Yet when they finally surrendered, their lives transformed. The love they chased began to appear. The opportunities they forced began to flow naturally. Surrender did not make them weaker, it made them aligned. Control comes from fear of loss. But nothing that truly belongs to you can be taken. People may leave, seasons may change, but what is meant for your growth remains. Life always restores what is aligned with love. Trusting this truth is the beginning of peace. When we try to control, we speak the language of mistrust. We tell life, "I don't believe you'll take care of me." But life, patient and kind, keeps offering opportunities to release. Each uncertainty is an invitation to say, "I will trust this too." The more we accept, the more life proves itself faithful. There is great power in those 4 words. I trust the process. They are not passive, they are creative. They turn chaos into order because they align you with divine intelligence. You no longer push the river, you flow with it. In that flow, everything you need appears in its own perfect time. Trust begins small. It might start with trusting that the day will unfold gently, that the right words will come, that your body knows how to heal. Every act of trust expands the circle. Soon, you trust your path, your timing, your purpose. The same faith that healed your wounds begins to guide your life. I used to think letting go meant losing control. Now I see it means gaining freedom. When you stop gripping life, your hands are free to receive. Control closes the fist. Trust opens the palms. The open hand is the posture of grace. It welcomes without demanding. Imagine walking along a riverbank, trying to stop the water. You will exhaust yourself. But if you sit and watch, the water carries away the debris all by itself. This is the power of trust. You do not have to fix everything. You only have to stop standing in the way. When you let go, life becomes surprisingly cooperative. The right people appear, the right doors open, the right timing unfolds. You will wonder why you ever fought so hard. The universe was never against you. It was simply waiting for you to loosen your grip. Trust transforms timing. You no longer rush. You understand that delay is not denial. Sometimes life pauses not to punish you, but to prepare you. What you call waiting is gestation. Something beautiful is forming beneath the surface. Patience is faith expressed through time. If you have lived in control for years, surrender may feel like falling, but soon you discover you are being held. Life does not let you fall, it catches you in unseen hands. The same force that keeps the planets in orbit knows how to keep your heart steady. To trust is to return home to the rhythm of life. You begin to feel that everything has its season, joy, grief, stillness, movement, and that all are sacred. You stop labeling experiences as good or bad and start asking, what is this teaching me? Every event becomes a friend instead of a threat. Try this reflection now. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. On your inhale, say silently, I breathe in trust. On your exhale, say, I release control. Feel your body respond. Feel how the breath flows easier when you let go of the need to force it. This is how life works, through rhythm, not resistance. Control was always rooted in fear of the unknown. But when you remember that life loves you, the unknown becomes adventure. Faith is curiosity dressed in calm. It is the knowing that whatever comes will come for your good, not your harm. This truth sets you free from the endless task of management. In my quiet moments, I still whisper, life, I trust you. Each time I do, something inside me softens. The weight leaves my shoulders. I feel guided again, carried rather than burdened. That is the feeling of alignment, being moved by love instead of fear. The miracle is that once you stop controlling, you realize life never needed your supervision. The flowers bloom, the heart beats, the sun rises, all without your intervention. You were never in charge of the universe. You were only asked to trust it. What a relief it is to remember that. Before you rest tonight, take one final breath and repeat softly, I do not force, I allow. I am guided perfectly, and all unfolds in divine right order. Let those words settle into your body like lullabies. The mind will quiet, the heart will expand, and peace will return, not because you mastered control, but because you released it. There comes a sacred moment in every journey when shame begins to loosen its grip. You no longer hide your struggles. You no longer apologize for your pace. You stop trying to appear healed and instead allow yourself to simply be. This acceptance is the quiet crown of true healing. For many years, I believed that if people saw my pain, they would love me less. I wore smiles like armor, advice like disguise. I thought vulnerability meant failure. But pretending to be perfect was exhausting. The mask grew heavier each day. When I finally laid it down, I discovered the freedom I had been seeking all along. Healing is not about pretending to be further than you are. It is about being honest about where you stand and still loving yourself there. You may not be at the summit yet, but the moment you stop hating the climb, the view begins to change. Peace is not found at the top, it is found in the pace. Shame is a shadow that whispers, you should be different by now. But life does not rush. Flowers do not bloom by scolding. Rivers do not flow faster by shame. The same is true for the heart. It opens at its own divine timing. The more you accept this, the more grace fills your days. When you are ashamed of your process, you live in hiding. You shrink from love, afraid of being seen. But when you tell the truth, I am still learning, I am still healing, I am still tender, life rushes in to meet you with compassion. The universe never punishes honesty, it blesses it. I used to think growth meant moving forward without ever looking back. But healing is not linear, it is cyclical. The same lessons return in deeper forms, not to shame you, but to polish you. You revisit old wounds, and each time your heart stays open a little longer. That is evolution, not regression. The final sign of healing is the absence of self-condemnation. You no longer measure yourself against imaginary standards. You understand that you are not behind, you are in process. A butterfly is not late because it is still a caterpillar. You cannot rush transformation. It unfolds in divine order. Shame says, I am not enough. Healing says, I am becoming. The difference between the two is love. When you love yourself in the middle of change, you turn every unfinished moment into a masterpiece. You no longer wait for approval. Your existence becomes approval itself. There was a time when I apologized for everything, for crying, for resting, for needing help. I thought worth was earned by endurance. But one day, I realized that self-worth is not measured in strength. It is measured in tenderness. To rest is to trust life enough to stop performing for love. Authenticity is a quiet revolution. When you stop hiding your healing, you give others permission to stop hiding theirs. We heal in community, not comparison. Your honesty becomes an invitation for others to be real. The moment you say, "This is where I am," the world exhales with relief. I often tell people, you are not broken, you are breaking open. The cracks are not flaws, they are doorways. Through them, light enters. Every heartbreak, every mistake, every delay is polishing you into clarity. There is nothing to be ashamed of in being human. Being human is how the soul learns love. Healing teaches humility, not the kind that lowers you, but the kind that roots you. You learn that you are both the clay and the sculptor, the student and the teacher. You see that perfection was never the goal, wholeness was. And wholeness includes every part of you, even the parts still trembling. When you no longer need to impress anyone with your progress, life becomes gentle. You rest in honesty. You say, some days I am light, some days I am learning, and both are holy. The soul grows in seasons, and each season, even the quiet one, is sacred. There is beauty in being a work in progress. Imagine if the rose apologized for its bud, or the moon hid because it was not full. The universe never apologizes for its stages, neither should you. Every stage of becoming is part of the dance. Trust that the rhythm of your life is right on time. When shame dissolves, gratitude takes its place. You begin to thank your journey, the detours, the delays, the lessons. You realize that everything that seemed to slow you down was shaping you. What you once called mistakes were simply moments of redirection, guiding you home to yourself. I have watched countless people heal the moment they forgave themselves for being where they were. Forgiveness is the bridge between shame and freedom. It says, I release the need to be further. I bless this moment. In that acceptance, peace descends like gentle rain. Try this now. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, I am proud of who I am becoming. Feel those words sink into your chest. Let them echo softly through your body. Pride is not arrogance when it grows from gratitude. It is the soul saying, I see my own light again. When you meet yourself with kindness, the body responds, the breath lengthens, the mind quiets, the heart opens. You realize you do not need to fix yourself to love yourself. Love itself is the fixing. It repairs without judgment, transforms without force, expands without condition. The moment you stop comparing your pace to others, freedom returns. You see that everyone is walking their own sacred path, and no path can be identical. You cannot bloom in someone else's soil. You bloom when you honor your own environment, the lessons, the timing, the experiences meant only for you. Shame isolates. Self-acceptance unites. When you finally allow yourself to be seen as you are, life begins to meet you where you are. Opportunities arrive because you are no longer hiding behind pretense. Authenticity magnetizes blessings that fear once repelled. Every time you honor your current place, you dissolve the illusion of lack. You see that you are not waiting for love, you are practicing it. You are not seeking peace, you are cultivating it. You are not behind in your journey, you are in the very center of it, doing sacred work that only you can do. Letting go of shame also means letting go of explanations. You no longer justify your feelings, your pace, or your past. You simply exist, knowing that existence itself is enough. You do not owe anyone a polished version of yourself. You owe yourself the freedom to be real. When you stop hiding, even your shadows become beautiful. You begin to see that light and dark are not enemies but partners. The cracks you once tried to cover are the places where compassion shines brightest. The world does not need your perfection, it needs your authenticity. Shame says you are not ready to be loved. Love says you are loved because you exist. When you finally believe the latter, shame dissolves like mist in sunlight. You see that love has never required you to earn it. It has only been waiting for you to allow it. The moment you forgive yourself, the body sighs, the breath deepens, the heart feels lighter. Forgiveness is medicine, not only for the mind, but for every cell. The chemistry of love alters everything. You begin to glow from the inside, not because life is perfect, but because you have stopped resisting it. You may find that as shame leaves, joy returns. Simple, unprovoked joy. Joy in waking up, joy in breathing, joy in being here. You no longer need grand achievements to feel worthy. You find beauty in small moments, sunlight on the wall, laughter in the kitchen, quiet confidence in being enough. There will still be days of doubt, but they no longer define you. They pass like clouds across a clear sky. You watch them come and go without fear. That steadiness, that unshakable trust in your own goodness is the final proof of healing. You have remembered your worth. Let us end with a quiet meditation. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. As you inhale, think, I trust the process of life. As you exhale, whisper, I am exactly where I need to be. Feel your body soften, your heart expand. Each breath becomes a prayer of acceptance. Each exhale, a release of shame. You have journeyed from fear to trust, from striving to peace, from hiding to honesty. You have learned that healing is not a finish line, it is a relationship with yourself. And now, at last, you stand where you always longed to be, home within your own heart. Say softly, I trust the process of life. I am exactly where I need to be, and I am healing now. Let those words rest upon your breath. Feel their truth. This is not an affirmation to reach for. It is a truth to remember. You are healing, you are unfolding, you are whole.